If you are a contractor, these are 5 leaks that might be costing you jobs every single month. But don't worry, I'm going to go over exactly how you can fix them in this video. So, your system may have some of these leaks, and every single one can equal lost jobs. And there are 5 potential leaks. So there's a lot of ground to cover, especially when it comes to having an online presence. So I'm going to go over every single one and exactly how you can set them up so that you are making sure that you're maximizing the amount of opportunities that you get in. So, number one, and it's something you probably always hear, is Google, your Google presence in general. Now, what is a problematic Google presence? Well, if someone searches for you, if someone searches for general contractor in San Diego, and there are 3 reviews, not many photos, last updated 2 years ago, you might not have your website linked on there, your phone number may even be the wrong phone number, well, people aren't going to be able to contact you, right? And your reputation as a good company, even if it's strong via word of mouth, strong via referral, is not going to show up online. So what's missing? 50 plus recent real reviews, regular post and update, and complete business information. I just see so many companies with their Google and it's the wrong phone number. So if I hear about Jim's Construction and I look them up online and I call the phone number and it doesn't work, even if I am a referral and I did hear about them word of mouth, well, the chances of me going to another company have increased now that I tried to call them and I need to search for another phone number. So just as an example, right? When people search literally contractors near me, all of the top companies that show up, 5 stars, 11 plus years in business, correct phone number, right? A little bit more information on there. Full information, 4.9 stars, 4.9 stars, 5 stars, 4.9 stars, and they're all running ads too. So this is just searching contractors near me, right? And you look at the top 5, they're all running ads, they all have a complete profile, and they all have 5 stars, and their profiles in terms of photos and videos are very, very, very active, right? So making sure that you have someone on your team who's at least checking this every single week, updating this every single week, making sure to ask clients, right? If you don't have a system for it, make sure you have some sort of system where you're setting up a regular review system so that every single project, every single client, you're making sure that you take advantage of that so that you can boost your reviews, right? And that is really, really, really important because Google is one of the most used search engines, right? So when people are looking you up, you want to make sure that you are showing up at the top. So number one is going to be just making sure your Google's updated, you're getting reviews from your customers, and you're getting some photos and videos of your project on there. Number 2 is going to be social media, right? Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube. There's so many different platforms nowadays. But what is the problem? Well, a lot of contracting companies are not active on social media, right? And so they don't really have too many posts. Maybe they posted a year ago. Maybe you have a couple photos on there. But the problem is when someone clicks on your ad or they search you up on Google if you're not running ads, and then they go to your website, and then they go through to your Instagram and your Facebook and they click on it, but it's just random photos. The last post was, 6 months ago, and there's no consistency or branding on there. There's no one talking about the projects. Then that is going to just be another layer that's just a leak, right? Because every single system, whether it's your website, whether it's your Google, whether it's your social media, it has to be bulletproof so that no matter where someone goes, they see that you have branding, that you have high quality projects, you have high quality media you have testimonials, right? So every single platform needs to be kept up to date so that people know that you are staying active and taking care of your business in every single area, right? So the problem is inconsistency, right? That's the biggest thing, is just inconsistency, because posting on social media is a job, right? Like, it does require someone to actually be doing that every single week or every couple of days. So what's missing? Weekly project posts, right? So updating people, hey, we just got this job done. We just got this job done in La Jolla on this street. Boom. Guess what? Someone in La Jolla sees that project. Oh, that's my neighbor. Wow, I see you guys have been working on that for a couple months. So I figured I'd reach out because I saw it on Instagram or I saw it on Facebook, right? So weekly project posts, just keeping people updated, right? Keeping your network updated. Like, hey, we're doing this project, boom, boom. Pool, remodel, whatever it is, right? Just making sure that you're letting as many people know about what you're doing as possible, right? And then client testimonial videos. So making sure that when you complete a project for a client and they're very, very happy and very, very satisfied, you're saying, hey, would you mind doing a testimonial, right? Let's do some sort of testimonial. Boom. You get them talking about their project. They're standing in their beautiful kitchen that you just remodeled. They're talking about your project. So they're doing the selling for you, right? And then their friend sees that video. Oh, wow, I need to get my kitchen redone too, right? So client testimonial videos, just adding another layer of social proof, and then just behind the scenes content, right? And the more activity, the better, right? The more volume, the better. So that's really what it comes down to when it comes to building a presence on social media. It's about consistency and quality, right? Ideally, you do both, consistency and quality. And so just as an example, no, I have no affiliation, nothing against any of these companies. These are just two examples that I saw, right? So you have number one right here on the left, who's posting, but it looks like they're most likely doing it themselves, right? So it's just not too consistent, right? There's just posts here and there. I mean, if you look at this one, another construction company in the area, they have a brand, right? They have a brand. They have someone who's really taking care of it, really on it. They have 9,000, almost 10,000 followers, right? And as you can see here, they have free in-house estimates, right? They have their offer right in the bio. So when someone goes, they scroll, they see the photos, they're like, wow, okay, boom, there's highlights. So people are just sitting on their page consuming. They're just consuming, right? Because everyone's a consumer, especially when it comes to social media. So you want to make sure that people are consuming as much information about your business as possible through as many channels as possible. So here's just an example, right? And the biggest thing between these two is the branding and the quality, right? So you see the quality here and you see the branding is super, super, super on point. And then they also have very clearly says what they do and how you can reach them, right? So they do new construction and you can reach them by calling, right? So that's very, very, very important that you're just posting on social media. So that will be the second leak, is inconsistent posting on social. Number 3 is going to be the response time. So you can generate all the leads you want. You can have 50 leads, 100 leads a month, but if it's taking you 5 hours to respond to them, then that's going to be a very, very, very big problem, right? So for example, if a lead comes in, if you're already doing some sort of advertising on Google or Facebook, and a lead comes in, now keep in mind, I'm going over 5 different leaks, right? So not all of them may apply to you, but a lead comes in and then 3 hours later, you're calling them back, right? Because you're out on a job site, you're not really with your phone. So 3 hours later, you're calling them back and they don't answer. And then you may assume that it's just a bad lead, and then you never call, you never contact them again. But in reality, people are shopping around, right? So when they're submitting their information, when they're giving their information to your company, they're most likely giving their information to 5 or 6 other companies within the same hour, right? So it's very, very, very important that we're making sure that we're contacting these people as soon as they come in, right? As soon as a new request is sent in, boom, we're the first ones to contact them, right? So they don't even have a chance to think about any other company. They're just in contact with us, right? And so what's missing? An under sub 5-minute response target, auto response while you're busy, right? So even if you can't pick up the phone, making sure that there is a text message, that there is an email that's sent out to these prospects asking them another question, right? So even if you can't get to the phone and interact with them, you can at least have a text message or an email that goes out asking some more questions about their project so that they stay engaged with their company, right? And how do you do the 5-minute response target? Well, you set up instant notifications, right? So we set up instant notifications so that as soon as the lead comes in, they're going directly to your phone, right? And then even if they don't answer, making sure that there's a follow-up system in place so that an email, a text message is going out to these prospects every single day to remind them about why they gave you their information in the first place, right? So you don't necessarily have to call them every single day. We're still staying at the top of their mind by sending out emails and text messages every single day, even if they don't answer, right? And so responding within 60 seconds increases conversion rates by almost 400%, right? So as soon as they come in, calling them, getting in contact with them within 60 seconds increases the conversion rate by 400%. And at the same time, the first company to respond has a 78% chance of booking them, right? So simply responding within 60 seconds will 4x your conversion rate if you do nothing else, right? So that's number 3 is response time. Now, number 4 is going to be website speed, okay? All 4 of these are very, very specific, and you'll pretty much know whether or not they apply to you or not. So what's the problem, right? If they click on an ad or they're looking you up on Google and then your website takes 5 or 6 seconds to load, so go time it, see how long it takes. Most people will leave before it even loads, right? Now, why is this? People are consuming so much information nowadays at such a fast pace that no one has the attention span to wait 5 or 6 seconds for a website to load, right? I mean, think about the last time you were shopping. If something doesn't load, you try refreshing it, you get frustrated, you just go somewhere else, right? So making sure that your website is loading very, very fast is very important, because if they're coming from an ad, if they're looking you up on Google and the site takes 5 or 6 seconds to load, they might just click off at the 4th second, right? So making sure that your website is loading very, very fast. And so what's missing? A lot of websites are old, even 5 or 6 years is very, very ancient in this industry, right? So 5 or 6 years old, even 4 years old, anything older than that is old technology, right? So making sure that you have a fast loading website and it's mobile optimized. What does that mean? A lot of websites that were built 15, 20 years ago, let's say, they're not optimized for mobile. They're not really made for a phone. So they may look good on computer, but when someone opens it up on the phone, it's not made for the phone. And most people are shopping around on their phone nowadays, right? So making sure that it looks good on the phone, it's optimized to be used on the phone. And then there is a clear call to action with easy to fill forms. I don't have an example photo, but just making sure that there's a huge button that tells people exactly what to do, right? Click here for your free estimate. Boom. In big blue letters, a big blue button, let's say, for example. They click it, and then there's a form that asks for their name, email, phone number, and then what type of project, let's say, for example, right? So making sure that it's fast, mobile optimized, clear call to action, and has forms. And the most important thing is speed, right? So speed to lead, speed on your website. Speed is everything when it comes to marketing, when it comes to having an online presence, because people move very, very fast online nowadays, right? You can do a lot of stuff on the internet very, very quickly. You can look at 10 different companies in 10 minutes, right? So speed is everything. Now, number 5 is going to be a reviews system. So the first one I mentioned was Google, right? Making sure you're actually getting those Google reviews in. Well, how can you do this so that you don't have to manually remember or manually follow up with all your clients to ask for reviews? Well, you add a system in place. Now, the problem is a job is finished, client is very, very happy, right? And A lot of the times you're going to forget to ask for a review, right? You're thinking about 5,000 other things, not just your Google reviews, right? So what is missing? An automated review request, right? So making sure that right after the job is done, you have a system where you can just send this out. Your assistant, your secretary, whoever manages, just sends this out at the click of one button right after the job is done. You make it very easy for the client. And then if the client doesn't submit the review, then you just have a follow-up structure in place, right? And this is very, very important because now, number one, you are collecting these reviews that you can use for the future when clients ask, hey, what are your reviews online? Can I talk to someone that's worked with you in the past, etc. Now you have more Google reviews, and now you don't have to manually remember every single time to ask them for reviews. It's systemized, right? So as just another example of the Google profiles, again, no affiliation with any of these companies, nothing against them. This is just their Google profiles. So you see Dyson Construction. Now, the very first thing here, just going back a little bit into the Google profiles, is the photo, right? So it's a photo of what looks like their office, whereas here it looks like they put a photo of their actual work, right? So if I'm a customer, I don't necessarily care too much about what their office looks like. I want to see what work they've done, right? So seeing that's a really, really nice bathroom right there. Okay, cool. Now, the reviews, right? You see 4.9 stars, 40 reviews, 4 stars, 1 review. Well, instantly, if I'm the consumer, I'm not even looking at this company. As soon as I see that, I'm not looking at the company on the left anymore, right? All my attention is going to this company. So that's 40 times the amount of reviews. And then you can also see that this one did not have a website linked. So even if I was a customer, let's say for example, or a potential customer, and I want to learn more, I see Dyson Construction. Okay, there's a lot of construction companies. Where can I learn more about their team, about their services? Well, there's no website. So let me just go back and let me just look at another company. And then someone will come here, they'll see 4.9 stars, 40 reviews. Okay, they have a cool website, open that up, boom, done, contacted. So making sure that your Google is up to date and that you have reviews or some sort of system to get reviews is very, very, very important because people are very, very, very picky when it comes to this stuff online, as you can see the contrast here. And these are 2 different companies in the same area, right? So now that we've gone over those 5 things, let's see here. So currently you may be getting in, let's say for example, currently you may be getting in 30 leads a month, let's say, and you have a weak Google presence, right? So let's just say 5 may not trust you, and then you have an inactive social media, so 3 more people get to your social, they just see it's not really active, they may bounce, slow response time, 6 other people book competitors, slow website, 2 never see your site because they click off in 4 seconds, no reviews, 2 choose higher rated, as I just mentioned, right? And this is a problem that I always hear people talking about online is like, hey, I don't get any clients online. And because it's typically the people that say that they don't have anything set up online. So people see that you have a weak Google presence, they're not going to reach out. They see you have a slow website, slow response time, they're not going to reach out and they're not going to come in contact with you, right? So there's a lot of opportunity that's just being missing. So you may get 30 leads a month if you're running some sort of ads online, but you're only booking 1 job, right? Or even if you get a lot of leads, word of mouth, right, that you don't even know about. Because a lot of people may just be talking about you, people that know you, your network, your people that refer you, right? They might refer you, and then the referral doesn't know you directly, and then they just see that you have a weak Google presence, you have a slow website, and then so they just go somewhere else, right? And then if you have 30 leads a month, but you have 5 stars on Google, you have an active social, you have 5-minute response time, you have a fast website, then you may book 3 jobs, right? And that's just being very, very conservative, but that's still a 3x gap, right? That's very conservative, by the way. But the point is you fix these 5 things and you are going to increase your conversion rate, increase the number of jobs booked, right? So here's a little checklist that you can screenshot. And then I think that's it. So here's a little checklist that you can screenshot. So make sure that you get all of these things in place, that you fix all this stuff, because it's very, very important. Online presence is everything nowadays. And if you ever need help with any of this stuff, if you need someone to come in there and set it up for you, to run and manage this stuff for you, then feel free to book a call and we will see if you are a good fit to work with us.